Sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Eagles topped the Cowboys 24-20 last night. CeeDee Lamb had 3 big drops on the night despite having over 100 yards receiving. San Diego State back tomorrow night taking on Washington State. That's going to be a fun one, 7:15. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Pregame will start with Fletch and J.R. Tolver at 5:30. And tonight we have more NFL football. Chiefs, Chargers live from Brazil. Chiefs are currently a 3.5-point favorite. Need HVAC. This month gets 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Well, don't keep us in suspense any longer. Show us what you got.
Finally.
Handoff. Javonte Williams. Bang at left guard. And the Cowboys score the first touchdown of the season.
It's Football Friday in the Fletch Zone. The season kicks off with the champs.
Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. He's going to run. He's going to cut back. He's going to waltz it for a touchdown. They have beaten the Dallas Cowboys 24-20.
We talk about the game, look ahead to tonight in Brazil, and preview Sunday's action. Plus, the Aztecs are in Pullman versus Washington State. Can the Padres get right playing up a mile high? And SDFC is back at Snapdragon Stadium.
Saved by C.J. Dos Santos. Got the Rottweilers by the door all night.
These are great days we're living, bro.
Well, boys, just one question.
Are you ready?
Let's find out in the Fletch Zone.
Oh, yes, indeed. Let's get it going. Big voice guy and CJ just laid it out perfectly. We got a freaking weekend in sports here in San Diego. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We will be with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. These are the best shows that we ever get to do because we are jam freaking packed. NFL got going last night. Another game tonight. Full slate Sunday. College football packed day tomorrow on Saturday that will conclude with San Diego State up in Pullman, Washington. In fact, the team is heading up there right this second as we speak. And then the Padres have a 3-game set out in Colorado that feels like there is a crap load weighing on it. Sammy Long, what's going on? How are you? This is a fun day.
This is a massive day. We are returning to football. Football was fantastic last night. My Kansas City Chiefs are going to put a beat down on the Los Angeles Chargers tonight, and we are very, very excited for the weekend full of a lot of sports.
Yeah, Sammy's wearing his Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, like what do they call those? Letterman jacket from high school. It's very handsome, Sammy.
I spent a lot of money on this when we won it.
I bet you did. I am wearing my Niners just regular cap, no Super Bowl on this one. Still haven't won a Super Bowl in my lifetime, but we're ready for some.
Got the Super Bowl attendee gear.
I could have gotten the one
runner-up trophy.
The one they ship overseas. There's a lot of kids all over the world
who think kids in Africa right now that they don't know.
And they think the 49ers have won multiple Super Bowls over the last decade.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to get going today in a big way. We're going to get to the Padres in about 10 minutes. Let's focus on last night's game for a second here before we get to the big three. Really, really fun. I mean, football comes back. They're scoring all over the place. I thought the ring ceremony, all of that was well done by the Eagles. Good job. And then play one, the poor guy who got hurt on the first play of the game.
That sucks.
Did you read his lips? He said, I can't remember. It was something.
Yeah, he's like, it effing popped.
Uneffing believable. I think that was the first one. And then the camera went away from him and it came back to him. And he said, I can't effing believe it.
Isn't that the worst when the camera just like pans in? They're like going through this emotional, their career might be done.
And I guess that was the exact same injury he had last year that ended his season. So imagine he's going through months and months of rehab, finally gets back to the point where he's on the field in kickoff number 1 of the season. He pops it again. That was awful. And then right after that, we had the Spitgate. It's taking over 2025. That had to be the script, right? We're going to start this season off with a bang.
Jalen Carter. I mean, what an idiot.
Not so fast. I think Dak Prescott started the spitting.
Yeah, but he spit down, and then Jalen Carter walked up to him and spit on him. Like, if Dak Prescott intentionally did that, he's a genius. I mean, he's a genius.
I can't believe Jalen Carter spit at Dak Prescott. That was insane. I was watching at Bub's downtown, and the entire bar was laughing our asses off. Because what are you thinking, dude? And then he almost looked surprised that he got ejected from the game. Really? You're surprised?
And the ref's standing right there, and he's like surprised. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, football was all the way back right then and there. And then I'll be honest, Dak Prescott looked awesome last night.
He was not the reason they lost.
For a lot of the game, he looked fantastic. He was throwing the ball all over the yard. The run game, Javonte Williams, who comes over from the Broncos out of North Carolina, actually, he makes his way to the Cowboys, 2 first-half touchdowns. Jalen Hurts running all over the place, not really throwing, especially not to A.J. Brown, who ended up with 1 target on the night.
1 target, 0 catches.
Wow.
So
makes
were
a
you
lot of
more
money.
were you, even though Philly won, were you more impressed with Philly or Dallas?
Cowboys, not even close. Now, look, that game is very different if Jalen Carter's playing.
Yeah,
I don't
obviously.
think Dallas has nearly the success they had on the ground. I think Dak probably gets hit a few more times if Jalen Carter's in the game. But Dallas impressed the hell out of me last night. And we can talk about Jerry Jones. He said it. We need to get better at run defense.
Not that they did. They did give up 3 rushing touchdowns.
Saquon Barkley had 60 rushing yards in the game.
It's true, but
the rushing touchdowns were mostly from Jalen Hurts scrambling.
Jerry said after the game that he was actually impressed with the Cowboys. It is easy to come on and rip Jerry Jones, but I actually do agree with him. Like, if we look at that game, ifs and buts, I get it.
Cowboys should have won. CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop 3 balls. Cowboys win that game.
Right. The obvious one, the 50-yarder, he should have got the drive before, the easy first down over the middle, 12-yard completion he drops. The third one, he's making $30 million a year. He should catch it, but that was a tough grab. I thought Dak Prescott played excellent ball. The Cowboys did look like, this is why if you're a Cowboy fan, it's almost bittersweet today, because you're like, if this team had Micah, this was a team a couple years ago, because you take away all the injuries. Trayvon Diggs is out last year. Dak Prescott's out last year. Pickens and CD completely confused that defense for most of the night. Yesterday, Etan Shaner was on our show talking about how the second quarterback spot corner for the Eagles is a problem. And they signed Adoree Jackson, former SC guy, played for the Giants for a long time. That is not the same defense. And again, I know Jalen Carter's not there. That makes a big difference. But you do see why you worry about the defense for the Eagles. And I'm just throwing it out there. If this team did not have the tush push, they can't throw the ball. And it's not a shot to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is fantastic with rushing the ball and having 2 rushing touchdowns. Their offense is anemic until they allowed to do the tush push.
Especially if Saquon's not going, which he really wasn't going last night. They didn't really have any answers outside of the tush push, which they didn't have to use until the second half. But they all of a sudden, the field just shortens for the Eagles. It's 1st and 9 every time, not 1st and 10.
Right, and the most crucial down when you're playing Philly is second. Because if you let them get to 2nd and 3, or if you let them get to a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, they're just going to tush push it twice, and it's over. But if you're able to put them in long 3rd downs, the Cowboys defense, after being abysmal in the first half, really corrected well. And I thought was nice. They had no pass rush. Obviously, you trade Micah Parsons, but for a defense that everyone was kind of looking at to only give up 24 points, I don't think that's that terrible.
And then there was the hour and 5-minute rain delay, which obviously put both teams way off track. There was not a punt in this game for a long ass time. And then the hour and 5-minute rain delay. And all of a sudden, neither offense really looked like they had it. I think that was absolutely a huge impact on the game. Let's get a couple texts in here before we get to the big 3. 858, a blown out knee and bodily assault loogie in the first 60 seconds. NFL is back. 760 FedEx Trey here. Happy Friday, y'all. That game had everything. About to have the greatest season of all time. Let's go. I agree. I think this is going to be a fantastic NFL season. That was a great way to get things started. We'll see how the Chiefs and Chargers do tonight. We're actually going to be heading out to Kansas City to talk to Soren Petro coming up in about 20 minutes to preview tonight's game. Sammy, without further ado, let's get to the big 3. Sammy rips through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
If you would like to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do it. On YouTube at San Diego Sports 760 and on X at Fletch and Sammy. Find us there, subscribe, like, do all the things. We'd love to see it. Sammy, where are we starting?
Chiefs Chargers live from Brazil tonight. Where are you leaning on the game, and what team is under more pressure to get off to a better start this season?
What's the point total at? Is it still 3?
3.5 now. It's come down to 3 at some books. It was started at 2.5. Then the Rashawn Slater injury happened, went to 3.5. Now it's back down to 3.
Look, I do think the Chiefs end up winning this game. I think they play very, very well tonight. It is unfortunate to me and I don't know how you feel about this, Sammy. I don't think we've actually talked, that a divisional game is being played at an international location.
100%.
That sucks. And the Chiefs actually are going to end up getting the benefit of this, I guess, because they'll still have a home game in this series.
Yeah, the Chargers gave up the home game.
This is a Chargers home game, and when you think about what Spanos cares about, he cares. All he cares is that the place is full. Doesn't care who's there. Chiefs fans travel extremely well, especially to LA. So this sucks for the Chargers. I also think it sucks for the Chiefs. Look, divisional games have more importance on them than every other game. We all know that. So why are you adding different variables into a divisional game? Doesn't quite make sense to me. With all that being said, I think the Chiefs get it done tonight. Rashawn Slater is a huge loss for the Chargers, and it sounds like Mekhi Becton also might miss this game. He's sick. He got added to the injury report earlier today. If the Chargers were fully healthy, how many times have you heard that in your lifetime? This could be a really good game, and the Chargers could still win, but I would lean Chiefs as of right now.
I think it's going to be a good game. It always is. Chiefs-Chargers.
Did you just say the Chiefs are about to whoop some Charger ass like 5 minutes ago?
Well, I said for the first half. I think it's going to be I do think it will be a good game, but I do think the Chiefs are pissed off. I think people are going to see tonight a different Chiefs team than we've seen the last couple of years, because the last couple of years the offense has been boring. Like, people look at the Chiefs, and I think that's why people get down on the Chiefs, is they were used to the opening year where it was Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and it was the best show on turf. They played no defense, but they couldn't be stopped on offense. The last couple of years, it's been very methodical, very long drives, 10, 12-play drives. Mahomes said on his first day back at camp, they're trying to get the deep ball back in the offense, and they're not going to have Royals tonight. They're not going to have Rashee Rice, but Hollywood Brown is a guy that didn't get to play much last year because he was hurt for most of the season, and then Xavier Worthy. So I think it's going to be fun. It's always fun when these two get together, but I'm rolling with my guys.
See what Herbert can do. I'm curious to look at him mostly, because it's not like the receiving core got a bunch better. In fact, they added Keenan Allen back, but we'll see what he can do at this age. Najee Harris and Amari and Hampton in the backfield. I'm curious what the Chargers offense looks like. And if the Chiefs just get a little bit back of that, like Golden State Warriors Chiefs that they had, where everything was new and innovative and it was all splashy, that's gone away the last couple of years. I'm curious to see if they bring back.
And let's see, like Herbert tonight. Herbert, remember this whole thing? He threw 3 picks the entire year and threw 4 in the playoff game last year.
Is he scared of Chris Jones? I would be.
If Mekhi Becton's not there, that's a massive problem.
Huge.
But excited for the game tonight.
What's next?
Let's head to your Niners. Fletch, Christian McCaffrey added to the injury report ahead of this week. He's limited practice with a calf injury. The Niners are downplaying it, saying it's not a problem. This comes after the Brian Robinson trade just only a week or two ago. Fletch, how worried are you?
Of course I'm worried, dude. The pits are sweaty. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Like, yes, I'm terrified about this.
Did you just
quote Eminem? Yeah, I did. That's what I do when I'm nervous. Look, the verbiage in this is exactly the same as it was a year ago. I believe I remember somebody saying the alarm bells aren't going off last year, and Christian McCaffrey didn't play for the first half of the season. That is the report from Pelissero earlier today. So you look at the 49ers, and of course, Kyle Shanahan's going to downplay this. There is a chance, I would say greater than 50%, that Shanahan is putting this out there to mess with the Seahawks. But there's still like a 49% chance that this is legit, and the Niners are in serious trouble if McCaffrey can't go.
I am going to praise your Niners. I don't usually do that a lot.
Wow.
But I do think that regardless of whether this is, obviously we're hoping the best for Christian McCaffrey. He's one of the most exciting players.
God, imagine drafting A.J. Brown and Christian McCaffrey.
How do you feel
today?
They it was smart by the Niners, though, to get Brian Robinson Jr. And I know that they're downplaying this isn't anything, but Brian Robinson Jr. had 876 yards rushing last year, was really good for the Commanders, and that's only going to go up in an offense with Kyle Shanahan that revolves around the run. The Washington uses an air raid offense. Cliff Kingsbury had it at Arizona. That's what he came out with Mahomes. They played at Texas Tech. It's all about air raid. They only run out of the shotgun, so you don't get that kind of ample opportunity. Brian Robinson having 876 yards in Washington might have easy over 1,000 with the Niners. It's a good ad. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey's all right, but that is a nice backup if they have to turn to him.
I'd rather the Niners honestly just sit him till week 6 regardless.
Really?
I think so. Leave him healthy for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, is that dumb?
It's like, what? Okay.
Well, what are you getting out of him this year if you start him right now and he's injured by week 3? Nothing.
That's real. But if he's sitting 6 weeks, like, what's the difference between him playing now and later? Because he's been playing all camp. If he really can't play the first 6 weeks, at some point are we talking about his career's done? Because last year it was, he's coming back. He's coming back. And then all of a sudden throughout the whole year. He doesn't come back.
It's wildly frustrating being a 49ers fan. I'll just tell you that. Enjoy the fact that your team is just always good.
Let's head to the MLB. The Dodgers lost, got swept by the Pirates last night. Paul Skeens put on a little bit of a masterclass.
So the Padres back to 2 games back?
Yeah, so
this is crazy.
The Padres and Dodgers seem to have no interest in trying to actually win the division, either one of them. What team do you think is in a worse spot right now, and who are you looking for this weekend?
Both. They're both dog S. You know what I'm talking about. Right now, it's ugly for both of these franchises right now. This is the time where you're supposed to be getting hot. You know, Sammy, we always talk about with Major League Baseball's postseason, it's about who's getting hot at the right time. This is the right time. Both of these teams are just kind of letting everybody back in. Have they noticed that the San Francisco Giants all of a sudden have won 9 out of their last 10, are hitting home runs?
That's a real thing.
Dude, it's a real thing. There was no shot. When the Padres swept the Giants in San Francisco, the Giants were dead. They were done. Dead in the water. And now all of a sudden they're back in this thing. If the Padres don't handle business over the next 2 series, we're coming back on Monday having some serious questions about postseason.
Well, both teams you just look at and you're like, what is happening? Like last year, we keep saying this. It really felt like whoever was going to win that series from the Padres and Dodgers would win the World Series. And they did. The Dodgers won the World Series. This year, it's like both teams are completely flailing. The Dodgers have more of the benefit of the doubt because they did win the World Series last year, and there are some guys returning on injury. But at some point, if you're the Dodgers, you're like, most of the guys are healthy, and you can't put it together throughout the entire year. So this team is not. It's hard to think the Dodgers are just going to magically flip a switch and become the team that they were last year. And then the Padres, we keep talking about the easy schedule, and both teams have an easy road weekend, or they got Dodgers have Baltimore and in San Diego's up in Colorado, but it's like, how do you even trust either of these teams? The pitching makes no sense. The starting pitching for both teams has really been bad. And the Dodgers, it really makes no sense because you look at the roster, you're like, why is the starting pitching bad? And there's no consistency from the bats. It's tough to really get a read on these teams. It doesn't look like either of these 2 teams are going deep in October.
Yeah, let's expand on that a little bit coming up next. Soren Petro coming up at 12:30. He's here to talk Chargers Chiefs coming up later tonight, which is a game that's on YouTube. We're going to get a legit number on how many people watch this game, which I'm excited about. I think it's going to be massive worldwide also. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Let's get deeper into this Padres-Dodgers craziness to end the season coming up next. You're listening to the Fletch Zone, San Diego Sports 760. The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. Buy tickets now at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out for September 19th and 20th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2, plus $1,000 in spending cash. Next chance to text and win happens at 1:00 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. All right, we got tons going on in San Diego this weekend. Huge game for SDFC. Savannah Bananas actually at Petco Park tonight and tomorrow night, I believe. Those have been sold out forever. You got Padres in Colorado. Aztecs up in Pullman, Washington State. That game's already gotten pushed back, believe it or not. Originally
it's a very exciting game.
It was slated for 7:00 and then 7:15. Now I think it's pushed all the way back to almost 7:30.
Take away the fact that we're all rooting for the Aztecs, obviously San Diego, but like if you look at the schedule tomorrow, outside of Michigan, Oklahoma at 4:30, that's
kind of soft.
Yeah, it's kind of not a great schedule. That's like the one good game, 14, 18 ranked taking on each other. But this Aztec team. Only a 1.5 point dog in Washington State, so they're telling you that they're a favorite on a neutral site. Excited to see if the offense can translate from last week, playing some subpar competition on the road in Pullman. Yeah, we can get into it a little more in hour 2, but I watched the majority of Washington State's last game, and I had some pretty big takeaways away from it that I think favor the Aztecs. We can kind of get into that a little bit in hour number 2, but right now we got Soren Petro coming up in about 7 minutes. He's talking Chiefs. He's out in Kansas City, one of the best sports radio hosts in the country. So we'll get a full preview of tonight's game. But I did want to talk about the Padres for a second here, because Sammy and I were talking about really just how dire the situation is right now for the San Diego Padres. And the only way it gets better is if you start stacking some wins. And we could talk about the schedule all we want, but does anybody right now feel like the Padres are going to go to Colorado and sweep the Rockies? Because I have a hard time believing that. Why would we believe that?
They've given us no reason to. So what can you do to turn this thing around? And can the Padres sweep the Rockies? Absolutely. They should sweep the Rockies, but no one really feels like that's what's going to happen. So in order to turn this thing around, starting pitching. Give me at least one start this weekend that a starting pitcher goes into the 6th inning. That's not asking for that much. It used to be starting pitching needed to get into the 7th. It's not that anymore. But can someone get into the freaking 6th? B, can Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. take care of the altitude, or take advantage of the altitude, take care of the fact that you are in Colorado and try to turn their offense around a little bit, maybe use those home runs they hit against Baltimore and try to springboard themselves a little bit, because without them, this team's toast, man. We could talk about them getting into the postseason as a wild card team and getting knocked out. Is that what anyone's expecting here? No. Do something.
Well, they should send a thank you note up north, because the Dodgers have not put them away. They still have a shot to win the division.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
The math don't math.
Both teams completely forgot how to play baseball the Dodgers have been like 20-23 in their last 43 games. They have not been playing good baseball whatsoever, but neither have the Padres. So, you look at the schedule and you go, all right, you're playing Colorado. You should beat them, but you actually have to go do it. Now, the Orioles are playing the Dodgers, who just took care of the Padres, so maybe they'll continue that up there in LA. I believe that game's in LA. Oh, I think it's in Baltimore. But, the bats certainly have to wake up. The bats are this weekend. I would normally say starting pitching, but considering you're playing in a tough altitude environment, we expect them to be better. But it's kind of unreasonable to expect that the performances that they've been giving out the last few weeks, that they're going to magically turn it around in Colorado, even though it's a bad team because of the altitude. The ball flies. You pointed out, Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis, the top 4 of this lineup needs to rake this weekend. There is zero excuse why these guys should not be playing fantastic ball this weekend. And I don't want to come in on Monday and go, oh, they won a game 2-1. No, the offense is getting paid way too much damn money to be this pathetic recently. So if you want a shot at the division, it's still open. The Dodgers have certainly not closed the door on that.
You need a sweep this weekend.
Yeah, we can't come in here on Monday and the Dodgers and the Padres have the same record over the weekend and go, hey, maybe the division's on the line. No, it's not cutting time. They got 23 games left. They need to pull it together.
Soren Petro, one of the best radio hosts in the country, is going to be joining the show coming up next. He's out in Kansas City. He's going to be previewing Chiefs and Chargers, which is tonight on YouTube. Interesting fact. It is free for everybody to watch. YouTube trying to just bring you in so you buy that Sunday ticket. You're going to see 9 million Sunday ticket ads tonight. I promise you that.
That's already been purchased a long time ago.
For a lot of people, not everybody.
Are you telling me you don't have Sunday Ticket?
I do not have Sunday Ticket.
You're a sports radio host and you don't have Sunday Ticket?
Sammy, it's a lot of money, man.
Oh my God.
I watch Red Zone, dude. I'm a Red Zone guy. What else do you need? I have all the standalone games.
You don't
already.
watch the Niners on Sunday.
I do watch the 49ers on Sunday. That's on my special TV.
How do you get that? Streamies is shut down.
I get creative with it, Sammy. That's what I do. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Soren Petro coming up next.
The sport's sponsored by the West Automotive Group. Padres back tonight for a 3-game set against the Colorado Rockies in Colorado. The game gets going at 5:40. Padres currently minus 215 on the money line. Nick Pivetta will be going for the Pods, while Kyle Freeland will be going for the Rockies. In the NFL, game 2 tonight, Chiefs-Chargers in Brazil. Chiefs have been bet up to a 3.5-point favorite after the Rashawn Slater injury had it opening at 2.5. The point total is currently set at 46.5. Time is money, and there's no good time for your vehicle to break down. Keep your car and schedule running smoothly with the West Automotive Group. For the highest quality of customer service and vehicle repair, visit westautomotivegroup.com to book your appointment today.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then, and I love doing this, going around the country, talking to all my favorite sports radio hosts in every city, and this one might be my favorite one. Soren Petro, host of the program over in Kansas City on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Soren, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
I'm well, my brother. How are you?
We are doing good here in San Diego. I go on Soren's show every once in a while for the drill, which is his famous bit out there. And every time I come on, it's the Anchorman soundbite of San Diego. And Soren, I guess I welcome you here by saying Kansas City Joe's barbecue is my favorite food in the entire world.
Yeah, listen, I think there's I think a stat is like 17 of the biggest 19 hotels in the world are in Las Vegas. We say that 17 of the top 19 barbecue places in the world are in Kansas City. We know the top 10 is. There might be a couple that weasel in there into the top 20, but they're all great, and Joe's is certainly one of them.
Oh, it's good. They actually sent us out a care package one time, and I think that was thanks to Soren. And oh my God, it's good food.
Yes, sir.
All right, Soren, tonight, Chiefs playing the Chargers, AFC West battle right off the bat. Now, I'm curious from a Chiefs point of view, are they a little ticked off that a divisional game is being played in a neutral site location? I mean, obviously the Chiefs get to keep the home game. Chargers are the one who loses it, but it's a little weird that an international game is a divisional matchup that means so much.
Listen, it is. And I know a lot of people have been talking about that the division ought to be kept at home. You don't want to lose that kind of advantage. But I think a lot of those people haven't been to a Charger-Chiefs game in Los Angeles either. I think the Chargers are going to get a little bit more, a little bit higher percentage of the crowd down in Brazil just because of the scarcity of the number of Americans that will make it down there. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of transplanted Americans that'll be there just to see some American football. But pure Chiefs fans, pure Charger fans, I think that's going to be, probably weighted more towards the Chargers than it is even in a game in LA. I think the split that we usually come up with and looking around the stands is maybe 60-40 Chargers. Maybe somebody'd like to dispute that. I don't think anybody'd say more than 70-30 Charger fans. So as far as the destination, it might actually, be a little bit better for the Chargers to get this game in Brazil.
Mahomes on the first day of camp said they wanted to bring the deep ball back in the offense. I know Royals is out tonight and Rashid's going to be out the first 6 games. Do we think we're going to see that with Worthy and Hollywood, or is that going to come later when Rashid's back?
I think you'll see it with Worthy and Hollywood. I think you'll see it with Tyquan Thornton. They've taken a number of shots with him, cast off as a disappointment in New England after being, I think it was a 2nd-round pick for them. The Chiefs grabbed him last year. And, I remember everyone was kind of trying to figure out the numbers right when camp started. It wasn't very long into camp. Somebody in the organization said to me, well, Tyquan Thornton's on this team. They've always had a vision for him. I think, he was probably one of their draft crushes that they didn't get when he came out. So they were very happy to be able to grab him. And I think they feel like they've got some things for him. Now, listen, I'm not talking about, he's going to be the number 1 or 2 wide receiver. I'm talking more Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Justin Watkins. But he is a guy that has great straight line speed, and he has done a great job in camp and in the preseason of using that speed, tracking the ball and catching it. That was one of the problems with, really McCole Hartman, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a number of different players that they've invested in at the receiver position that could run. They couldn't track the ball. And Tyquan Thornton seems to be able to do that. So he can at least get to where the ball is and not just run fast in a straight line. So I think they've really invested in a number of ways to do that. Rashee Rice is really more their underneath guy, their bubble screen guy, their slant guy. Get him the ball quick and then let him run after the catch. So that's what they're going to have to replace. I think Juju Smith-Schuster will be the first guy to get the opportunity to replace it. And it's a big loss. I mean, last year, through 3 games before he got hurt, he was on pace for, I think it was 160 catches, 1,400 yards and 16 touchdowns. So through 3 games, he had become the focal point of their offense. Now they're going to miss him for 6 games this year. So they will not be the team that they think they're ultimately going to be, certainly without him.
Soren Petro, host of the program Sports Radio 810 out in Kansas City, joining us today. Soren, the sexy pick all across the country seems to be the Broncos to not only win the division, but to be a dark horse Super Bowl team this year. Is this the year that somebody unseats the Kansas City Chiefs as the leader of the AFC West?
I think what people have to decide is, do they want to be the person that announced it the year that the Chiefs didn't win it? And are they willing to do that every year and then just try to celebrate louder than they, cry when they're wrong? Look, there are reasons to pick against the Chiefs. Number one, the NFL is designed to drag you down. You pick last, you get the tougher schedule. But mathematically speaking, it doesn't always work out that way. But mathematically, you're supposed to have a tougher schedule. So the league is trying to drag you back. So I understand there is, some reason to make that pick. But as long as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are there, Steve Spagnuolo is on the defensive side of the ball, you're really just trying to get lucky. You're trying to hope for injuries. I think Denver and the Chargers and the Raiders have closed whatever gaps they had. The question is, have they passed the Chiefs? And I don't think the answer can be yes on that, because where are the Chiefs noticeably worse, right? Their biggest departures are Tershawn Wharton, a backup defensive lineman who had 6 sacks last year, and then one that's pretty legit, Justin Reed, leaving at safety. I'll bring up Joe Tooney as well, leaving at left guard, but they've kind of swapped that out for what was a top 10 pick if he hadn't been hurt, and Josh Simmons at left tackle. And I think the Chiefs are happy to trade left guard for left tackle all day, and they feel like there's upside with Kingsley Suamatia. There's going to be bumps. He is raw, certainly with the pass protection. So that is a spot to watch as left guard for the Chiefs. But overall, if you look at it, as long as they can figure out how to replace Justin Reed, and they have turned and burned the safety position since Steve Spagnuolo became the defensive coordinator, if they can do that again, they're definitely a better team. So if anybody's catching them, if anyone's going to pass them, they're going to have to pass a mark that is further down the field now than it was last year.
Speaking of the defense, we know Spags likes to run McDuffie in the slot a lot. Are you think you're going to see Christian Fulton, the newly acquired Charger, and Watson on the outside, or are they going to go McDuffie at the 1 and try to go 2 and 3 after that?
I think you hit one of the key names for this team. I'm not going to say how Christian Fulton goes, is how the Chiefs go. But if the Chiefs are going to continue to be elite, if they are going to be 15-2 again, and a lot of us feel like, they can win 12 games and be better than they were last year, be more equipped to maybe win a championship, beat playoff teams this year than they were last year, even with the lesser record, because the schedule does look really difficult. And they had some fortuitous bounces. I mean, literally bounces off hands that block kicks, bounces off uprights that went through the upright, bounces off uprights that didn't go through the upright that ended up being success for them. So, there is a feeling that record-wise they're going to take a step back, but quality-wise they can take a step forward if they do that. And I mentioned losing Justin Reed. It was $10 million they were paying Justin Reed. It was $10 million he got to go to the Saints, and it's $10 million they're paying Christian Fulton. They clearly said, if we can get deeper at corner, we will be better, even if we have to lose the veteran presence of Justin Reed. And so they made that decision in their mind to allocate those sources for Christian Fulton, who has been oft injured, but when plays well, and would be, in their mind, their third starting caliber corner. And not only a starting caliber corner, one that, as you said, would allow Trent McDuffie to play on the inside, which he's very good. He's very good on the outside. In fact, a lot of people are speculating he's going to get more than Sauce Gardner whenever his contract does get done. And there were some executives that ranked him. I think one of the, I don't know if it's Jeremy Fowler's piece, but somebody was, had the executives ranking all the positions, and he was 4 and Sauce Gardner was 5. But he is a guy that also is so good on that slot because he has the change of direction and because he's so good blitzing out of that spot. And Steve Spagnuolo does a great job of calling up those blitzes, and he is their best blitzing corner. So if Christian Fulton can play, it does open up a part of the defense that when they really had to have Trent McDuffie travel with the number 1 last year, they didn't have. And I think you saw their sacks. They went from 57 sacks and number 2 in the NFL to like middle of the pack and 39 sacks. And a big part of that was not that Trent McDuffie was going to get 18 sacks, but just the threat of having him there and how you have to fan your protection differently when you know he might come makes it easier for all those guys up front to get home to the quarterback.
Soren Petro joining us. Let's talk about Mr. Swift, Soren, because obviously the Chiefs are going to need him, at least for the first few weeks of the season while Rashee Rice is out. Travis Kelce has been a huge part of this offense forever. Are we getting the Travis Kelce of 3 years ago, or more like the guy we've seen the last couple of years where production has started to go down a little bit?
Yeah, 2 years ago he battled injuries. Last year I'd say he battled his off season. I mean, look, I'm not going to fault anybody for living a life, and if you have a significant other that happens to travel all over the world, you're a dumbass if you don't follow them all over the world. I mean, there's more to life than, if you're playing football at 88% as opposed to 95%, but you got to experience life like that, far be it from me to chastise somebody. But if we're to measure the football player, you're right. He hasn't been the same guy the last 2 years. He's been a very good tight end instead of a very good wide receiver, which was really the way he was playing. So he's still an important piece if he's no better than he was last year, but he is noticeably in better shape. He did not have she didn't have the tour going on the way she did. And so there was not as much travel involved in the offseason. There were still plenty of places you saw Travis Kelce popping up. So let's not kid ourselves. It wasn't like he was chained to the workout room, but he looks noticeably slimmer. And I think that's got a chance to pay off. A little bit of quickness will help him. His smarts are the most important thing. He's really been slowing down for a lot of years, even though the production wasn't slowing down. The tracking data said that he was getting slower, but he's just so good at reading defenses, finding this place in the zone, and Mahomes is so good at finding him. So I would expect him to be better than he was last year, but not vintage Travis Kelce. But that might be enough if they're healthy at wide receiver, because they've got a lot of room to grow at the wide receiver position.
Soren Petro, you're the absolute best, man. Appreciate it every time you join us here in San Diego. Good luck this season. We're all entering busy year starting like right now. And you have a great day, Soren. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you. Always being on great at one of my favorite cities.
Come on back. Beers are on us. Promise you that. Soren Petro, host of the program out in Kansas City, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Always appreciate his time. Take a quick break. Lil Wayne tickets on the other side, as well as long shots. Stay tuned at San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. Get yourself a $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 entry. And last night, this is the perfect example of why I love Prize Picks. It was about 5 minutes till game time in football, and I realized I did not have a lineup in for that game. Well, it took me about 60 seconds. CeeDee Lamb, more than 72.5 receiving yards. Dak Prescott on a special discount. All he needed was one passing yard, and Jalen Hurts less than 212.5 passing yards. Smashed it. That was a $95 win for me. You could be doing the same thing on Prize Picks. Takes about 60 seconds. You just go more than or less than on your favorite players' stat projections. And if you hit, you can win big. For this weekend, Lamar Jackson has been discounted to just a half passing yards. You go more than on that at least one more player, and you can win big with Prize Picks, my favorite daily fantasy sports app. Download it today. Use promo code Fletch, and you can run your game all season long. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we got long shots, which is where Sammy Long creates a daily fantasy lineup. We use Prize Picks. You can too. This can be your first $5 lineup that gets you the first $50 bonus. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch, FLETCH, because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. San Diego Sports 760, always great chatting with a legend like Soren Petro. It is Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over. Then catch the Sean Lewis Coaches Show, which was last night. You can find it on the podcast now. John and Rich sat down with the head coach. They looked back at last week's win, previewed Saturday's game at Washington State. Sean Lewis Coaches Show airs every Thursday right here on San Diego Sports 760. It was a good one with Sean Lewis, John Schaefer, Rich Orenberger. Coming up tomorrow, Aztecs back. They're on the road against Washington State. Pre-game coverage is going to get going around 5:30. Game is going to start around 7:30. Right now, it's something we do called long shots. Yesterday, we did our season-long football long shots. Today, are we back to normal, Sammy? Is this all football, or is there going to be some tennis involved?
We have all football. It's actually specifically all NFL. I thought about some college football, but just the lack of big matchups, I went against it.
Tonight's game or no? Do you stay away from the Chiefs?
I don't bet. Okay, so I'm going to give a pick out for people if they want to include it. I don't bet on Chiefs prop bets because I don't care if we win 7-3, if we win 42-38. I don't give what. Okay. That was close there.
That was good English.
No. So I don't bet prop bets for the Chiefs, and I damn sure ain't betting no Charger prop bets. So.
All right, long shots coming in just a second. A text from the 619. Not sure if you guys have discussed the spitting with a P incident from last night, but as a Birds fan, I found it disturbing, and I hope they fine and or suspend Jalen Carter to send a message. The only comical part is that social media always wins in these situations and has already labeled the incident Dak Tua. Love the show.
Dak Tua.
From our buddy Brian.
Everyone is, yeah.
Haley Welch will live on in infamy forever. I don't know if she's still doing the podcast or not, but the Hawk Tua girl.
I love when that girl got a podcast. It's like, what do you talk about?
She made a lot of money doing it.
No, I'm saying God bless her.
I wish we were that popular.
God bless her.
Can you start go spit on people, Sammy? Make us viral or something so we get a huge podcast deal.
You go spit on people?
Yeah, you just need to go start walking the streets. I think she was in Nashville.
Yeah, I think
we're not getting there on talent alone, Sammy. You got to do something crazy.
We're not going to go there.
You could do it.
I could. Don't say it like that. It is very alarming. Brian, thank you for listening to the show. I'm fine with that as well because the Chiefs happen to play the Eagles next week. But you know what? I actually want you guys fully healthy. I think we should do a trade. I think Jalen Carter should be able to play. And I think what we've been campaigning for on this show for a long time is free Rashee Rice.
No one's campaigning that except for Sammy Long.
Rashee Rice should be back next week. We'll just do a swap.
There's a chance Rashee Rice legitimately should probably be in jail, but he's not because he's an NFL player.
He just drove fast. He said he was sorry. Stop. Have you ever drove fast? Yes.
I have, not with like 7 pounds of weed in the back of my trunk and not crossing a 7-car pileup.
Excuse me,
and not running away from the scene after the fact.
Do you know what California sober is?
Do you know he was in Texas at the time?
I don't. That doesn't matter.
It does matter in the eyes of the law. Sammy, let's get to long shots. Let's make everybody some money here. Smash it.
Do you notice how feisty Fletch is today because he's worried about McCaffrey?
I'm fine, dude.
Does anyone catch that?
Can we smash the button, please?
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait. Got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
I'm fine because I had myself a winner last night. About 5 minutes before game time, I threw in a CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts lineup, cashed it. So I got bankrolled.
That you didn't share that with anyone.
I honestly forgot about it until about 5 minutes before the game. Threw it in there. It's up on my Instagram story now. You can check it out. See how easy it is to win big on Prize Picks.
I did win a little money on the Cowboys last night. I was very, very happy.
Promo code Fletch. That's what you need. $50 bonus. Right after your first $5 entry. This could be your first $5 entry.
With all due respect to baseball, because we love baseball.
We love baseball.
And everything that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. It is so refreshing that we get to do a lineup without, will he go over on bases on a random Tuesday in July where you're like, do they even care about playing? It's 162 games. Are they sleepwalking through the game? Guess what we know? Everyone's going to be locked in for Sunday.
You see Lamar Jackson discounted to a half passing yard?
I do.
I would just throw that into the lineup no matter what.
It's there.
Okay.
So we have a 5-leg parlay, really 4, because of the Lamar Jackson over half passing yard. Fletch just told you it's a free one. I think it's actually a shame a little bit because I was going to go with Lamar for one of my picks, but Lamar half passing yard, get it? It's free. All right. We have a 4-leg NFL entry. We're going to go start with New England and Las Vegas. Ramondre Stevenson, more than 42.5 rushing yards. All the talk this offseason has been about Travion Henderson, the rookie out of Ohio State. He's an electric player, home run hitter at Ohio State, shared the backfield with Quinshon Judkins, who ended up going to the Cleveland Browns. And Ramondre Stevenson did not have a good year last year, but this is the second year of a 4-year contract. There's a lot of dead money. He's not going anywhere, even though they drafted Travion Henderson. Mike Vrabel is now the head coach. I think Travion Henderson and him are going to both have big days against the Raiders up front. And Ramondre Stevenson, I think, has a little bit of a bounce back year, more than 42.5 rushing yards. Vrabel's going to get him involved early. We know what he did in Tennessee. It was a run-first offense with Derrick Henry. Ramondre Stevenson, more than 42.5 rushing yards.
Now, I am going to trust you, but he was a fumbling machine last year.
Do I care if he fumbles as long as he gets 42.5?
But if he fumbles, are they not just going to go right to the rookie?
No. Again, what I just lay out, the contract.
Okay.
There's dead money. They're not cutting Ramondre Stevenson.
I understand this, but I'm just, if he fumbles right away, don't you think he might go to the rookie?
I don't think so on week 1.
Okay.
Ramondre Stevenson, more than 42.5 rushing yards. All right, let's go to Jets, Pittsburgh. Extremely fun matchup. You got Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers, the return. People aren't talking about the fact that Justin Fields is playing his old team too. All the narratives on Aaron Rodgers, they're actually favored by 3.5, the Jets in New York. We're going with Justin Fields. This line, as of the last 10 minutes, has been jumping up and down, left and right. Right now, you can get it 175.5 passing yards for Justin Fields. This is way too low. I know he rushes the ball. I know people have been concerned about him seeing the field. I think this is a big bounce back year for Justin Fields. Way too low of a number for me. We're going to go more than 175.5 pass yards. That offense, people forget. Garrett Wilson's there. We got a lot of talent. Breece Hall in the running back room. Some dump off passes. More than 175.5 passing yards for Justin Fields. Then we're going to go Tyreek Hill. More than 69.5 receiving yards. Darren Waller has already been ruled out for this game against Indianapolis. Another team that we're probably a little sleeping on too much. I don't think Miami's a playoff team. I don't think they're in a serious conversation, but the reason they were so bad last year is because of all the injuries. Tua was hurt, and then they went on a little bit of a tear there in the last couple months of the season and actually kind of got back in the playoff conversation. A lot been surrounded by Tyreek Hill. Is he locked in? The relationship between him and Tua seems a little bit fractured. But with Darren Waller out, Ollie Gordon and Devon Achane carrying the running game, I think Tyreek Hill reminds people who he is. More than 69.5 receiving yards. And then my final pick of the day, Trevor Lawrence playing Carolina. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have an excellent year. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to prove to everyone that he's a top 10 quarterback, and people forgot a lot about him against the Carolina secondary that I don't trust personally. I think this is a high-scoring game between him and Bryce Young. More than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. You got Travis Hunter there. You got Brian Thomas Jr. there. Even ETN out of the backfield, expecting a little bit of a bounce-back year there. Very excited about this Jaguars offense. I think they're going to light it up with Liam Cohen week 1. Trevor Lawrence, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, more than 69.5 receiving yards. Justin Fields, more than 175.5 pass yards. Ramondre Stevenson, more than 42.5 rush yards. And then Lamar Jackson with the freebie to get a half passing yard. Fletch, you got any thoughts?
I think I really like it. I think I do. So I'm good with it.
That doesn't sound very enthusiastic.
Well, I don't know that initially these are things I would have done, but this is called long shots because your last name is Long and your first name is Sammy. So we're going to have faith in Sammy and see what happens.
I feel very good about this.
Like none of these guys I would have in my lineup.
Really?
Probably not, but I'm going to have faith in Sammy.
I know you're a Trevor Lawrence hater, but like you don't.
I actually like that pick maybe the most. I'm just going to be dead on. I don't like this lineup, but I'm going to rock with it because I'm going to have faith in Sammy.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I want a sincere apology on Monday when this comes in.
That's why I'm having faith in Sammy. I believe it is.
Just wait. Everyone trust.
We're going to have faith.
I feel very good about this lineup.
We're going to have faith. I don't know. Look, I just don't like it personally, but I'm going to have faith.
Oh, Brock Purdy over on passing yards.
No, I would not do that either.
Sam Darnold under.
I have faith. It's submitted. I'm in. I'm locked in with you. I put 20 on it because I won last night, so I feel good about it.
Ride with us.
San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman coming up in hour 2. We're also going to have a special little surprise guest jump in. It is San Diego Sports 760. You are listening live on the iHeartRadio app. And would you like Lil Wayne tickets? Because right now would be the time to call 877-767-4760. If you want to go see Lil Wayne next week at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, call right now, 877-767-4760. Caller number 10, you're going to the show. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres back tonight at 5:40, taking on the Rockies for a 3-game set. San Diego State playing Washington State up in Pullman tomorrow night at 7:15. The pregame show will start at 5:30 with Fletch and J.R. Tolver on the call. Washington State is currently a 1.5-point favorite. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 in the NFL. Back tonight, Chiefs Chargers in Brazil. Chiefs are currently a 3.5-point favorite with the point total set at 46.5. That game will get going at 5 o'clock on YouTube TV. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast and reliable.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Well, don't keep us in suspense any longer. Show us what you got.
Finally,
Handoff. Javonte Williams. Bang at left guard. And the Cowboys score the first touchdown of the season.
it's Football Friday in the Fletch Zone. The season kicks off with the champs.
Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. He's going to run. He's going to cut back. He's going to waltz in for a touchdown. They have beaten the Dallas Cowboys 24-20.
We talk about the game, look ahead to tonight in Brazil, and preview Sunday's action. Plus, the Aztecs are in Pullman versus Washington State. Can the Padres get right playing up a mile high? And SDFC is back at Snapdragon Stadium.
Saved by CJ Dos Santos. Got the Rottweilers by the door all night.
These are great days we're living, bro.
Well, boys, just one question.
Are you ready?
Let's find out in the Fletch Zone.
San Diego Sports 760. It's hour number 2 here on the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. And right now, this exact moment, I'm speaking to one person in particular. His name is Rich. He listens on YouTube. Rich, I am staring you down right now, pal.
Rich, I love what you throw in there.
He just commented, McCaffrey under a half rushing yard, book it. Rich, why would you even put that out there, pal?
Because Rich cares about the betting public, not putting homer picks like our very friend Ben Fletcher here.
Who did a homer pick? No, I didn't make a pick at all.
No, you just said I just know.
But how the hell are we thinking a half rushing yard? McCaffrey's not going to get that.
What Rich is saying is he might not play. And honestly, can you blame Rich? Rich might be a Christian McCaffrey fantasy manager last year, or had him and took him at the number 1 overall selection, had to deal with all season. Kyle Shanahan and the Niners telling you, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. And he won't. I'm not wishing that. I hope McCaffrey plays. McCaffrey's one of the most electric players in the NFL. But Rich is just looking out for the betting public. Don't get mad at Rich.
It's funny, Sammy. I said I was talking to one person and one person only, Rich McGuire on YouTube.
Rich.
And you just jump in on this whole rampage. We don't need it, Sammy.
I was on Rich's behalf.
Rich, I love you, pal. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that, but we don't need that kind of negativity right now. I was talking to Travis Dale earlier today, who is a diehard Denver Broncos fan. And we were just talking about the season. We were talking about like what's to come this year and talking about the philosophy of NFL fans. And I said it, and it's true. The NFL is so sickening and so great and so popular at the same time because you get attached and you feel like a part of your heart is with your team, or at the very least, a part of your heart is with your fantasy team, which that's great. I know plenty of people who aren't a fan of one team, but they're a fan of their team, right? And right now, I feel like I'm going through that where everybody right now at the same time, if you're an Eagles fan, if you're a Commanders fan, if you're whoever, part of your heart is either about to get broken or elated over the next 48 hours. And we are all just okay with that.
I woke up nauseous this morning.
I did too, Sammy. I really did. And I think that's part of what's great about the NFL. It's also what the part that sucks about this year is we all get so heavily invested and we live and die on every single moment and every report from Adam Schefter. But you know what? Let's enjoy it. Because March is going to be here soon enough. And
why are you so negative?
I'm not ready for that. I said, let's enjoy it.
Okay, it's the second day of football. We're not talking about March.
That's why I'm saying enjoy it, because sooner than later, it's already going to be over in a blink of an eye. Football season goes by quick. So let's enjoy it while we got it. And let's have some positivity.
Thank
Sammy,
you for letting the public know that they're to enjoy football. Everyone's enjoying football. Everyone's ready for tonight and Sunday. I don't know.
I say something and Sammy just hears something completely different.
I don't know why we'd be talking about a sad time in our lives when it gets past February. Why would we even put that out there?
This was
today?
supposed to be a hype speech for football, Sammy, and I'm talking to you and Rich to try to get you out of this negative spin cycle you're on and try to get you ready for some action, which we got
Rich said,
plenty of.
sorry, bro. This happens every year.
All right. At 12:30 or 1:30, excuse me, Steve Hartman, legendary voice of San Diego Sports Radio, is going to be jumping on the show. We'll get his thoughts on what happened last night, what's going to happen tonight, what's going to happen this weekend. Lots of talk with Steve coming up. Our buddy Tyler in on YouTube as well. What's going on, Tyler? Right now, it's time for the big three of hour number 2, where Sammy Long keeps us updated on everything happening around the world of sports. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The big three.
About 760 texting in and saying my prize picks lineup tonight goes like this: Pacheco for a rushing touchdown, Herbert lower or less than 233 passing yards, Ladd McConkey for a receiving touchdown, Noah Gray for more than 2.5 catches, Patrick Mahomes for more than 18.5 fantasy points. Damn, 760, you're hired. You got long shots next week. Couple of touchdowns in there. I get nervous about those.
I love that lineup. Everything except for Ladd McConkey getting a touchdown, I think is tremendous.
I get nervous about those touchdown ones. Now, I will say Sammy was holding out on us a little bit because during the break, we discussed a little action for tonight's game. And you did have answers. You want to tell everybody what they are?
Okay, so I don't bet Chiefs prop bets being a diehard Chiefs fan. But I will give everyone one. I didn't see the Hollywood Brown number tonight.
40.5?
40.5. I would go more than on that. He was hurt for most of last season. He came back at the very end, the Pittsburgh game on Christmas. He was dealing with a sternoclavicular injury.
Ooh.
All last year.
That's a big word. Can you define that?
I don't know. Not really. I'm not a doctor.
I believe that is the clavicle, which is the collarbone.
Yeah, I was gonna point up here, but then I was like, I don't know if we have some doctors watching. I'm gonna get cooked. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, he was kind of under wraps last year. Was supposed to be a big part of the offense. I think they get the deep ball back tonight. Jalen Royals and Rashee Rice are out. They're going to be keying on Xavier Worthy.
You also had a touchdown scorer.
I think Kareem Hunt gets a touchdown.
Okay. So if you want to be fun, those are some picks. Sammy, where are we going?
Okay. What NFL game is not being talked about enough this weekend?
Ooh, I love it. Let me pull up the schedule. You go first.
Okay. I'm going to go Rams Texans. I'm really excited for this game. These are two teams that the sexy games are Bills Ravens, obviously that sells itself.
Steelers Jets,
Lions Packers sells itself. Micah Parsons, Lions, one of the favorites in the NFC. But the Rams and the Texans were a team last year. Fletch, I know you're high on them this year. I'm not quite but I do think they have an opportunity to be good. They were the kind of sexy Super Bowl pick last year. They were the kind of in the AFC. You got your Kansas City, your Baltimore, your Buffalo, but could Houston kind of enter that conversation after CJ Stroud's rookie year? And they didn't really. They kind of fell flat on their face. They lost to Kansas City in the Final Four, but wasn't super competitive, or didn't feel like they had a real chance to win that game. On the Rams side, the Rams on paper look like they could win a Super Bowl. I think if you said if Matthew Stafford is healthy, I don't think you saying that the Rams are winning a Super Bowl is crazy. They could do that. They have one of the most talented rosters in the entire NFL. The defense with Jared Verse, all those young guys on that defense got a lot better as the season went along. I'm excited to see these two because it's a really good matchup, I think, and we'll see where they're at starting week 1 and who can get off to a good start.
I love me some early window football, that 10 a.m. slate when you got like 8 games going on at the same time. Give me Colts, Dolphins, because I'm sniffing out an upset here. I think Daniel Jones is about to lead the Colts to a victory over Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. Give me the Colts winning this one outright.
Ooh, okay. Let's go to college football. San Diego State taking on Washington State tomorrow night in Pullman. They're currently a 1.5-point favorite. Washington State, the Cougs. But how we feeling about San Diego State on the road, and what is one player you're looking for tonight or tomorrow to change the outcome of the game?
Ooh, I like that too. Okay, so Trey White didn't actually have a big impact in the first game against Stony Brook. Trey White was really held under wraps, and I actually think that was by design from San Diego State. If you notice, last year, they moved Trey White around a lot. They really didn't. He was pretty much stuck in one spot for the whole game. I think Trey White has a massive game this weekend, and I'll tell you why. I did a little film study on Washington State, their original game this year. They can't run the ball. They cannot run the ball at all against an FCS opponent. They actually ended up with 3 rushing yards on the night total. Trey White has an opportunity to absolutely feast in this game. Washington State likes to drop back and throw the ball. Their quarterback was efficient. It's not like they're going to throw the ball deep, but they will throw the ball a lot. If Trey White can really get after the quarterback, he could single-handedly win this game for San Diego State. Give me Trey White.
I like Trey White there. I'm excited for this game. This is the cheap one, but on the road, you're going to see Lucky Sutton.
A lot.
I mean, you're going to need to see the running game take over, especially in a hostile environment. Someone who lived in Seattle, the Washington State Cougs, even though it's a couple hours away, they take their football seriously. That's a tough place to play, even though they haven't always been the best program. That's a tough place to go. I think San Diego State is certainly capable of doing it. And we're just looking for the offense to really take off because we saw what they did, against Stony Brook, and that's one thing, and that's fantastic. But let's see them do it on the road in Pullman. And the sports books are telling you they think that they're going to be able to. This is not, they didn't open as 7-point dogs. They really feel like they can do this. Jaden Denegal getting a real quarterback that can go on the road playing for Michigan, even though he didn't play, behind Alex Orji. That's a big get for them, and I'm excited to see tomorrow night what's going on. Heading to a wider scope of the NCAA football, what's the game you're excited for tomorrow that's not San Diego State, Washington State?
It's not a great slate of games. It really isn't. So when you look through it, I mean, the San Diego State one might be one of the better games of the weekend. But let's take a look. Look, Penn State's playing nobody. Texas is playing San Jose State. I'd be curious to see what Arch Manning looks like against a little lesser opponent. Illinois Duke is interesting. Ohio State's playing nobody. Georgia's playing nobody. Oregon, Oklahoma State. That's not a bad game. I don't hate Oregon, Oklahoma State. Tennessee at 22 playing East Tennessee. No one. Florida, South Florida.
That's interesting because USF did look good. Michigan, Oklahoma is the easy answer. Bryce Underwood, the $10.5 million man, going on the road, taking on John Mateer. Speaking of Washington State, who we saw in San Diego last year, played for the Washington State Cougars, transferred to Oklahoma. Both teams look really good. Michigan on the road, they're 4.5-point dogs. I think there's some plus money value there. Bryce Underwood looks really good, even though it was against New Mexico last week. He looks really good for a true freshman. But I'm going to go with Arizona State and Mississippi State. I'm excited to see Kenny Dillingham. Arizona State went on that magical run last year, deep into the playoff. Gave Texas hell. They're playing Mississippi State. They're playing an SEC opponent in Mississippi. Mississippi State's been interesting because they've been known for a great defensive program, not always the greatest offensive scheme. But Sam Leavitt is a quarterback for Arizona State that people are not talking about enough, and I think will actually end up being a top 10 draft pick next year. Very excited for that one, and it's a 6.5-point spread, Arizona State, but on the road, maybe you get some value there with Mississippi State. Quick fourth story. We have a little time here. Fletch, I don't know if you saw this, but this like grosses me out. Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson agreed to an exhibition matchup in February of next year.
It's almost to the point where this is a non-story for me.
It's so gross that this is happening because we have a real amazing fight next week in Canelo Crawford.
Yeah.
It's been promoted everywhere. It's a fantastic fight. We're going to get into that a lot next week. It's going to be I'm super stoked for that. It's real boxing. Floyd Mayweather fighting Mike Tyson. By the way, Floyd Mayweather, a career at his top, welterweight, 147 pounds, fighting Mike Tyson, who is a heavyweight. They're not going to actually hit each other. This is just a name. And Floyd Mayweather's always pissed off when people do not say he's the greatest of all time because he goes, I'm 50-0. This is why. At the end of your career, to get that 49-0, to get the 50-0, you fought Conor McGregor, a guy who had no business being in a ring against one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. It's embarrassing. I know he does the money team. It's all about the cash grab. But this is why, I put a fighter in Manny Pacquiao over Floyd Mayweather. This may be very controversial, even though he lost to Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather waited out Manny Pacquiao 4 years when he should have fought him in 2011.
It's an exhibition, right? It's not even going to go on the record.
It's not going to go on the record, but it's just a cash grab.
It's stupid. I think that this one gets sniffed out. You know what I mean? It's like we all signed up for the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight because we thought maybe it was going to be something real. We were hoping Mike Tyson could have some sort of comeback and knock him on his ass. This one will get sniffed out as just a money grab. I don't think this one's even popular.
I don't want to watch this.
I'm not going to. All right, take a quick break here. Coming up next, special guest in studio. How about that? Steve Hartman in 15 minutes. Stay tuned at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher, making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. All right, we teased it, and he's here. A very special in-studio guest. We don't get to see him that often anymore, but he was a mainstay in this time slot for a long time. Jay Riff, what's going on, pal?
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
What's
Jonathan
up,
Rifkind in studio. What's going on with life? Where are you now?
Oh, just bumming around Southern California, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Up in Sammy's old neck of the woods, up in Pasadena and in Hollywood. I'm in Burbank. I'm in Orange County. I'm in San Diego. We are really covering the map. And I don't currently have a car to do it in, so we're really piecing it together. By the way, public transportation, you guys should try it sometime. It's not that bad.
Wait, you been taking the bus or the train?
I take the train down.
Okay.
And then I either take the train to my next destination, the bus to my next destination, or I beg Jack Cronin for a ride.
I will sell you my Tacoma for $25,000.
I think you forget that I don't have any money.
Oh, okay. So we'll figure something out on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, Jay Riff, it's good to have you here, man. What game are you calling tonight?
Tonight, we will be on the call for Rancho Bernardo and Torrey Pines.
Where's it at?
My old school, baby.
Yes, sir. Up the 15 freeway at the home of the Bucking Broncos and the Super Bowl national champ, Eric Weddle. And by the way, his son, Gage Weddle, the quarterback of the Broncos, is the #1 athlete according to On3 in the class of 2028.
Where can people watch this?
This will be on Channel 4, Cox Eureview, and on Spectrum. This will also be on watch.eureview.com. It'll also be on YouTube at TVX Video. We will also be on markets in LA, Orange County, Ventura County, Santa Barbara, Yuma, Arizona, El Centro, and Palm Springs.
How about that?
Throw my name around there.
Yeah, is Sammy Long worth something up in RB?
Yeah. That's
if I walk up to Coach Weddle and I say, "Hey, man," would he know who you are?
No, not Coach Weddle.
Okay, so somebody else.
I left. Coach McCoy before might have known who.
But the lady working the snack bar.
Yes, the
Sammy
lady
for
working
sure.
the snack bar will know me.
Is she gonna hook me up with a free Coke and maybe some Reese's?
Say the Sammy Long guarantee.
I feel like I need like a verification slip that I know you.
Do they sell jackfruit carne asada fries?
I'm not vegan anymore.
Whoa!
Oh, we've never talked about. Did you know this, Sammy?
I did not.
Look, he's back on the good team. Boy.
That's why when I walked in, you're like, "Wow, you look like you're on steroids." No, I'm just getting protein for the first time in 2 years.
If you're on YouTube, check out J Riff's chest. This thing is getting buff,
Dude,
man.
Wait, so what caused that? What got you not vegan?
ADHD medication. By the way, you guys can tell me on this radio show whether or not you think it's working. Probably not.
You are talking very fast and very loud.
Well, I'm just excited to
I
be
know.
here.
It's good to have you here.
You're off the medication or you're on the medication?
No, so I've never taken medication.
Good question.
As I got diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, I didn't do anything about it. The stakes have now gotten too high and my executive functioning is at 0. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist re-diagnosed me with ADHD. She's like, we should put you on non-stimulants. And I'm like, thank God, because I don't want to have to take Adderall or Vyvanse at 7 o'clock at night before broadcast and then be awake for 3 more days.
Of course.
And so these non-stims, it takes about 2 months for them to really work. But the way that they're appetite suppressants. So what ended up happening was I wasn't eating anything. And when I was eating vegan food. And so if I'm not being satiated properly and I'm eating vegan food, and I'm working out the way I was working out, I'm really hurting myself. And so I said, you know what? It's time to eat meat because I need to have protein. I'm not eating enough. And so I got a big 12-ounce filet mignon and the rest was history.
760 saying shout out to J Riff, miss him. So that's nice.
I miss you too.
You got one fan here.
That's the first time anybody's ever said something nice about me coming back.
I know. It's good to see you, man. Did you watch the game last night at all? Cowboys, Eagles?
Absolutely.
Any thoughts on Spitgate?
You can't spit on somebody.
Yeah, you can't spit on
You just can't spit on. What does Sammy think?
Unless you're the Hawk Tua girl.
Well, we didn't see her actively spit on something.
Yeah, that's true.
It's left to the imagination.
You could spit. Let's put it this way. The thing that last night, that version of spitting is different than the Hawk Tua's version of spitting.
Just barely, though. I mean, I don't know. Dak looked like he was into it. I did tell Sammy we need to turn him into the Hawk Tua girl so we could have some success here in San Diego.
Wow. See me rolling the streets around downtown San Diego?
Yeah. Wait, are you telling me that Sammy's success is predicated upon being the Hawk Tua girl or not?
You just need that one viral moment, and then all of a sudden you get a podcast deal. You get.
But she had that moment. Sammy needs to come up with his own authentic moment.
Yeah, I think that it's
honestly, it'd be
taken.
pretty funny though.
Yeah, but I'm not a TikTok star. That's the problem, you know.
Yet.
I'm not like drunk on a corner in Nashville. They pick me up at.
I mean, you've definitely been drunk on a corner in Nashville.
Not in Nashville, but yes.
All right, we got Steve
on
Hartman.
Rosecrans.
Steve Hartman coming up in 5 minutes, so we're gonna get J-Riff out of here. But thank you for being here, man.
Of course, love you guys.
Tune in tonight. What time? Where?
7 o'clock, Rancho Bernardo and Torrey Pines, Channel 4 on Cox Spectrum, and also online. Jack Cronin and I will have you for the call.
Who's on color? Who's on play-by-play?
I am actually relegating myself to color, so that way Jack and the sultry tones of the great Jack Cronin can grace the airwaves with his presence.
Speaking of sultry tones, Steve Hartman's coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Download the Prize Picks app today. You're going to want to use promo code Fletch when you do. FLETCH. That's going to get you a $50 bonus after you play your first $5 entry. We'll get long shots up on social media, but it is a long one today. Here's a little one I just threw together for you. Hollywood Brown, more than 40.5 receiving yards. That one's from Sammy. Kareem Hunt, more than a half touchdown tonight. That's a Red Demon, also from Sammy. And then from yours truly, Najee Harris, more than 21.5 rushing yards. I think that one will be good too. It's that easy. 3 picks. You go more than or less than on your entry, and you can win big on Prize Picks. It takes about 60 seconds of your time. Just download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. Get that $50 bonus after you play your first $5 entry. And take advantage of the fact that today is a Flex Friday, fully guaranteed. $20 entry, excuse me. Download the Prize Picks app today. Take advantage of the promotions. Taco Tuesdays, Flex Fridays are the best part about this app. I've been playing it for 2 years now. Got over $6,000 in winning. So you can do the same thing if you got the skills. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
This sport is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres are back tonight at 5:40, taking on the Colorado Rockies for the beginning of a 3-game set. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Pods, while Kyle Freeland will be going for the Rockies. Currently at the U.S. Open, Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz in the semifinal. Alcaraz won the first set, and Djokovic is up 3-2 in the second. And Chiefs football taking on the Chargers tonight in Brazil, live on YouTube TV. And the Chiefs are currently favored by 3.5. Need HVAC. This month gets 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast and reliable.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. And for what people are describing as the greatest 12 minutes in sports radio every single week, it's 1:30. It's Friday. Steve Hartman is here. What up, Steve?
So, Fletch, are you ready to console Sammy after the Chiefs lose in Brazil?
No,
I mean, have you made
is the right
plans
word.
Because he will be so despondent. And the thing about it is it has to last all the way through the weekend. Yep. And then by the time he comes back on Monday, if he comes back on Monday, he's going to be really down in the dumps, Fletch. So you've got to think of something to get the kid back on his feet.
Steve, I'm surprised Mr. Charger hater is not rolling with the Chiefs tonight.
Well, here's the thing about the Chargers. First of all, can you believe, guys, that this is already the 9th year for the Chargers in Los Angeles?
It's crazy.
10 if you count 1960, but it's 9 years. 2016 was the Chargers' last season in San Diego before that filthy thief, that scumbag of the earth, Dean Spanos, who fleeced the city of San Diego for years, had city taxpayers pay for that complex right down the street from your station, rent-free all those years at that decrepit old stadium that is now history, and then stole the team from San Diego. So when you say, am I rooting for the Chargers? I'm never rooting for Dean Spanos. I have nothing against Jim Harbaugh. I'm a Harbaugh fan. I don't have a single thing against any player that's currently on that Chargers roster. But I will say this, when they lose, like they were humiliated by the Texans in that playoff game a year ago, the thought of Dean Spanos with a frown on his face is so sweet to me.
But tonight you're taking the Chargers?
This game is really, really a toss-up. Did you hear the latest? So Jim Harbaugh, we obviously in LA have been playing a lot of Harbaugh interviews. He's very accessible to the media in LA. But he was talking about the velocity of Justin Herbert's throws is up a mile a minute, I guess, like 100 miles an hour. It's like 1 mile an hour faster. And was really playing this up that, there's more speed on the fastball for Justin Herbert. I don't know if that's going to translate into a win. I'm very anxious to see how this game is going to play out. Obviously, Kansas City has been simmering ever since that humiliating Super Bowl loss. I think they will be fired up for sure, but so will the Chargers after their humiliating loss in their playoff game. So I think this is a field goal game one way or the other. It's not going to make or break a season for either one of these teams, but I'm anticipating a Charger upset here. They're due. They've lost 7 straight to the Chiefs. I think Harbaugh is going to figure out something that's going to make that Brazil location a slight edge to the Chargers in this game. And again, that means that, Fletch, you're going to have to do something because Sammy takes every game so personally.
Look, I kind of carried him through the aftermath of the Super Bowl. I was very soft and gentle. There was no jabs thrown his way about the complete ass kicking that the Chiefs got in the Super Bowl. Steve, let's talk about last night's game. We can worry about the weekend coming up in a little bit. But last night, the game starts off with an absolute bang. I mean, Jalen Carter spits on Dak Prescott. Not a second of time has come off the clock before that happens. What was your reaction to what went down last night in Philadelphia? Eagles get the win, but I think the Cowboys impressed a lot of people. How'd you feel watching the game last night?
Well, last weekend on my national show, we made all of our preseason predictions, and I have the Cowboys winning 10 games and sneaking into the playoffs as a wild card. That was before last night's game. As I said, the return of Dak Prescott is going to have a greater impact than the loss of Micah Parsons. Because when Dak Prescott is on the field, at least in the regular season, they win games. 3 straight 12-win seasons. So I think his return is going to make a difference. Like if CeeDee Lamb can hold on to that one pass that Dak just dropped in there late in the game, that could have been a different outcome as far as the game. As far as the Carter spit is concerned, we still haven't gotten the whole story. I mean, we did see, as they replayed earlier, Dak Prescott spitting in his general direction. Now, he may have just been spitting, period. But for whatever reason, Carter took offense to it and then spit on him, which was clear. I mean, especially when everybody's watching the court, the whole world saw it. It's not like he's going to hide it. And the official standing right there when he did it. So, look, they got away with it. The Eagles got the victory. Jalen Hurts, guys, I keep telling everyone, anyone that underrates Jalen Hurts does so at their own risk. This guy is a top 5 quarterback. Listen to me. The quarterbacks are Mahomes, they are Allen, they are Jackson, they are Burrow, and they are Hurts. That is a fivesome, not a foursome, a fivesome. Hurts belongs in that category.
Ravens Bills Sunday night, going to be a fun one. What team's under more pressure to win week 1?
Well, they have both pressure. I mean, obviously, I think in many ways, people look at the Ravens roster as a slightly more talented roster than Bills. The problem with the Ravens is they just play in a tougher division than the Bills. That's why ultimately I have picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. I think the Bills are going to mop up the weak AFC East. They're going to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're going to have home field. You'll have to get through Buffalo to get there. And I don't think this time the Bills are going to have to face the Chiefs in the playoffs, their old nemesis. So avoiding all that, I think, is going to get the Bills in the Super Bowl. I tend to favor the Bills right now. The Ravens, I don't know what it is about the Ravens, because they can be so dominant, but when they're in close games, this is where Lamar Jackson falls short, is when they're in close games. They can pile up points. They can blow people away. He can pile up some gaudy numbers. But in close games, he's not the same quarterback. I think Josh Allen has proven under similar circumstances, and he's won a lot more playoff games than Lamar Jackson, he can deliver. So I'm going to give a slight edge, again, week 1. These are all great matchups, but it's going to have little effect, I think, in the end, as far as seeding as anything concerned, because I think the Bills in that woeful AFC East are going to romp to the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, I think so too. Steve, that's the game everyone's talking about is Bills Ravens, but maybe my favorite game of the weekend is going to be Detroit and Green Bay, at least to sit down and just watch as a fan. 2 really good teams, talented rosters. Micah Parsons is already talking some smack in the media. As of 10 minutes ago, he was talking about Detroit's habit of running trick plays, and he said, you run trick plays when you can't beat somebody straight up. But you look at that game with the additions Green Bay's made, with Detroit losing both their coordinators. Do you have a lean one way or the other, Detroit, Green Bay?
I don't think the Lions are going to do anything different. They're promoting guys within the organization, which I think was a smart move. Look, I mean, again, the Lions were humiliated in the playoffs. You're the 1 seed, and you let a rookie quarterback just blister your defense. So that's going to be the big question for Detroit. Did they get everybody healthy? Is Aiden Hutchinson going to be the factor that he was before he went down with his injuries? I mean, their defense needs a complete revamp. They have the one player in this league that I love watching above all other players, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs. I can watch Jahmyr Gibbs highlights all day long. When you talk about his skill set, his ability to accelerate on just like one step, I mean, I'm not going to put him in the I think I'm compare him to anybody. I'm just watching about Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he has a big game here. Green Bay, even Packer fans are a little hesitant right now, anointing them like, wow, we got Micah Parsons. You know, Micah Parsons' career. If you look at his games in the biggest games that he has had on his schedule, he has not performed at a high level. His playoff performances have been woeful. In fact, when he played against the Packers in the playoffs 2 years ago, through the first 3 quarters with the Packers winning, 40-16. He had 0 tackles, 0 sacks. He was a complete non-factor. So we're going to have to see a different Micah Parsons than we saw in Dallas, who could not just pile up numbers against the also-rans. He's got to come up big in big games. So this is going to be a big game for both. But right now, I would lean to the Lions in that matchup.
Quickly looking at college football, what'd you make of Arch Manning last week? You think that was just a tough start on the road, or do you think this is a sign of things to come?
That's a tough call. Again, the question was, why was he behind what turned out to be a 7th round NFL pick who will never start a game barring some catastrophic injury wave in the NFL? Why did he have to sit 2 years behind Quinn Ewers? 2 years behind a 7th round draft pick if this guy's anointed to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Look, he looked awful. I'm sorry. I mean, there's no spin on it. Now, the next 3 games are against cream puffs, and they're going to pile up numbers. I'm not going to, I don't know if you guys know this. I have a Heisman vote. I never like to talk about it.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
It's a shocker. But I'm not going to write him off after 1 game. I mean, if this guy runs the table the rest of the way and they blow out somebody in the SEC championship game and get the 1 seed going into the playoff, obviously the guy can still win the Heisman Trophy. But there were things that he did, just throwing the ball, that I'm sure a lot of scouts are like, what is going on with this guy? He has been in the system. Even if he's not starting, he's been in this system for 2 full years. And, I didn't think Sark did him any favors. And they have a talented running game, and they have some rebuilding to do on their offensive line. So, but I mean, as far as the game itself, he was awful. Awful.
Steve,
I mean, what do you have, 38 yards going in the 4th quarter? There's no spin on it.
Yeah, but it kind of felt like Sark was trying to protect him. No deep throws really in the first few quarters. It was a weird game plan for Texas. We could just kind of leave it at that.
You know what, Fletch? Here's the thing, Fletch, just quick note. I'm 100% with you. If Texas, to me, look, you're on the road against Ohio State. You're up against it, right?
Yeah, best cornerbacks in the country, best safety in the country.
I would have come out firing at the start of that game. Put that Ohio State defense on their heels. The game plan was awful.
It was bad. All right, Steve, before we let you go, what the hell's going on with the Padres and the Dodgers? Both teams seem like they're just standing
pat. It's more on the Padres. I mean, the Dodgers get swept by the Pirates, and the Padres make up no ground.
None.
I mean, come on. I mean, you were just gifted the Dodgers losing 3 in a row to the Pirates. And then the Padres are on a 4-game losing streak. So come on. I mean, the Dodgers could not be more generous. Remember, the Dodgers have the Orioles coming up. They have the Rockies. I know the Padres have the Rockies. You got to beat these teams.
You got to do something. And give us something to get excited about, because it's gross right now.
That 2 seed is fading away. The Dodgers are now 3 games back of the Phillies. Of course, the Phillies are without Wheeler. I don't know. We still got, 22 games left. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. But, yeah, I mean, the Padres, if they don't win this division, are going to look back and say, wait a second, when the Dodgers got swept by the Pirates, we didn't make up any ground. Can't do that. I mean, right now, there are just no great teams in Major League Baseball. I'm literally any team that makes the playoffs could end up winning the World Series this year.
All of a sudden, the Mets are getting better. The Giants are on fire. They've won 9 out of their last 10. It is a weird spot to be in, Steve. All right, you have a great weekend, man. Enjoy some football. Enjoy the remainder of the U.S. Open, who stupidly put the final in the middle of NFL football. But, Steve, always great to chat with you. We'll see you soon, pal.
Well, guys, and Sammy, again, my condolences. But remember, Sammy, it's only 1 game. Only 1 game.
We're going to talk next Friday, Steve.
We're about to have Steve on Monday.
We'll talk next Friday.
I don't know. All right, Steve.
All right, guys.
See you,
Love
man.
you.
Steve Hartman, we love him too. It's San Diego Sports 760. Final break of the day. We'll get you ready for John and Jim next, as well as make picks for the first Sunday of NFL football. I got 4 lines picked out. Sammy and I are going to pick against the spread. We'll see how we do on Monday. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Gary, I've gotten some questions and I'm curious myself. When somebody who listens to the show gives you a call at 858-376-1299, do you require them to bring documentation? Do you run an application right away or a credit check, or is it just a conversation?
Absolutely not. There's nothing more frustrating than pouring out all your documentation without ever getting any upfront answers. So absolutely not. I always have a full conversation. I understand what your specific needs are, and I can pull up live pricing for you, whether you're purchasing a home, refinancing, or you want to know what your options are for a second mortgage, whether it be a fixed rate second, a home equity line of credit, which I fully educate you on. I can literally ask you just some of the basic questions. What do you think your home value is? What do you think your credit scores are? Is it a single family, townhome, condo? And I can literally pull up live pricing for you and give you a quote based on that information. If your information's off, then obviously the pricing is. But I give you multiple options just in case your credit scores aren't 780 and maybe they're 760. I'm going to show you how that affects your pricing. So absolutely not. I know there's companies that still try to lock you in that way, but no, I can give you all the information up front without any obligation of a credit report nor an application.
Give Gary Cooper a call today. Get that degree in loanology. Call Gary at 858-376-1299 or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. For a final time here on San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, John and Jim are coming up next. Let's rip through these real quick. We got a full slate of Sunday action in the NFL. You're going to hear Rams, Texans, and Raiders, Patriots on this station. So those are the two games we're going to start with. Sammy, Raiders are in Foxborough. They are dogged 2.5 points. Which way are you going? Raiders, Patriots?
I'm going to go Raiders. I like Pete Carroll on the road. I think he gets it done, gets that team turned around week 1.
We are in agreement there. Both of us taking Raiders plus 2.5. Texans plus 3.5 at SoFi taking on the Rams. Texans, Rams. Sammy, where are you going?
I'm going Rams -3. I think they get it done at SoFi. Matthew Stafford going to be healthy today.
Oh, I'm taking Texans plus 3.5. So we got our first separator there. Steelers 2-point dogs at the Jets in New York. I'm taking the Steelers. Where are you going, Sammy?
You're going Steelers? Okay.
No, sorry. I was going Jets. My bad. I had that written down wrong.
I'm going to go Steelers. It was 3.5 originally, came down to 2. So I'm going to go Steelers, win by field goal.
Okay. Lions plus 2.5 in Green Bay, taking on the Packers at Lambeau Field. Sammy, where are you heading?
Lions, too much of an overreaction from the Micah Parsons trade. Take the better team. Lions on the road.
I'm going the same direction. So we got two alike, two separate so far. Ravens, Bills. Ravens are 1.5 point favorites. That line just flipping as of today.
Don't like that they're favorites now, Baltimore. I like them when they're plus money, but I do think they win by 3. Lamar gets his revenge. They got to be fired up after losing the way they did to Buffalo last year. I think they get it done.
I am taking the Bills at home to win week 1. That's a show, folks, and that is a fun little preview of Sunday football in the NFL. All right, we're just about out of here. Sammy, you're going to have to text Big Marsh long shots from today because he missed it, and he was worried about it on the text line. So Big Marsh on the mic, if you're listening, Sammy's going to text that to you right now.
SoCal Jayhawks said Hartman said that Harbaugh is going to outcoach Andy Reid tonight.
Did Harbaugh say, or did
I think
Steve
Hartman
say that?
did say that, and I was like, that can't be real.
Look, if Steve
doesn't
said it,
actually
you know
think
it's true. Steve Hartman does not lie.
I love me some Steve Hartman.
He's the absolute best. Hey, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here all week. It was a fun one. I'll be back with you tomorrow night alongside JR Tolver as we get ready for San Diego State, Washington State. Cannot wait for that. We'll be on the air at 5:30 tomorrow here on San Diego Sports 760. Everybody have a great weekend. Padres, please do something for us. We want to have a fun show on Monday, and we will regardless because the NFL is back, folks. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Saturday full of college football. Enjoy tonight. Chiefs, Chargers on YouTube. We'll all be watching. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.